Hey guys, I'm Jessie of Crochet by Jessie. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel if you've been here before. Today's video is going to be a tutorial that is going to be suiting for this time of year where we're starting to get into spring, hopefully having warm weather within the next few months. So today we're going to be looking at a bag tutorial. The bag in question is this gorgeous floral design. I went with some fairly muted colours because I wanted to have quite a subtle kind of result, but honestly, based on the colours you guys choose, you will end up with some very different kind of bold, colourful, crazy, or more subtle ones like me. And I feel like it's a really versatile pattern. You can do so much with it. So for now, let's get into today's tutorial. In today's tutorial, I'm going to be going through the process of making this granny square that we are going to use for the bag design. You're going to need 15 in total. I have already made 14, so we're going to go through making the last one together. As well as that, you're going to need a pair of scissors and a 3.5mm crochet hook. You are also going to need two different colours of cotton. Both of the ones that I'm using are the Hobbies Friends Cotton 8/6 yarn, and I've got them in a beigey colour, I believe, and a sage colour, because I think they look really nice together. To start off making our square, we're going to be doing a slip knot. And do note now that the colour you have at the centre, if you're following the design in the same way as me, that is going to end up being the colour you have on the outside as well. So we're going to do a total of 4 chains. And then once that is done, we're going to do a slip stitch going into that first chain that we did. That's just creating the ring. That's instead of doing a magic circle. If you'd prefer to do a magic circle, you can do, but if you've been on my channel before, you'll know that I don't particularly enjoy making them. So this is what I do as an alternate. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to chain 2, and then we're going to do a double crochet. That counts as our first cluster of 2 double crochet together. You're then going to chain 1 and do another 2 double crochet. 1 and 2, like that. And then you're going to do another chain, and you're just going to keep repeating this process until you have 8 lots of 2 double crochet. So I'm just going to keep doing this, as you guys should be as well, and then I'll show you what it looks like just as we're finishing this first round. So I've finished the majority of this first round. You'll see we've got our chained gaps, but I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 lots of 2 double crochet. So you're just going to chain 1, you're going to do a slip stitch going into the chain 2, which is the first double crochet, just to join it all up. You're then going to chain, cut your yarn and pull through. And that is the end of the first round. So our second round, which is going to be the majority of the flower detailing, we're going to be using our secondary colour. So I'll show you guys how to do that in 2 seconds. So this is our first round done. We're now going to be attaching and using our secondary colour, which, as I said earlier, for me is sage green. You're going to put your hook in one of those chain 1 spaces, attach your yarn in whatever way you prefer to, and then you're going to chain 2 times and then do another 2 double crochet into that same space. So the first chain 2 that you did is going to count as the first double crochet, so this is technically a group of 3. You're then going to chain 2 times and do another 3 double crochet into the next chain 1 space. And we are essentially just going to be repeating this process for the entirety of this second round. So chain 2 and then 3 double crochet into the next space. 2 and 3. This is how it is looking, guys, and just keep doing that, going all the way around, and then I'll show you how we finish this round off. This is how it is looking, guys. Just to finish this round off, you're going to chain 2 times and just do a slip stitch in that top of that chain 2 that you did start. It's a bit fiddly sometimes, especially if you're me, but we'll get there. Okay, so we're going to go on to our third round now, but you'll see we're still using the same colour, so we don't have to cut our yarn off or anything. And what I do for this is I just go into this next chain 2 space and just do a little slip stitch, but make it a nice loose one so it's not too tight. You're then going to chain 2 and do 1 double crochet. This counts as 2 double crochets together. You're going to chain 2 times and do another 2 double crochet into that same chain 2 space. We're then going to go into the next chain 2 space, this one here, and then do 2 double crochets again. 1 and 2, chain 2 times again, and then do another 2 double crochets into that same space. So each space is going to have 2 double crochet, 2 chain, 2 double crochet. We're going to keep doing that, going all the way around. So I'll just do one more as an example. Going into the next space, 2 double crochets, 2 chains, and then 2 double crochets. So keep doing that until you go all the way around, and then I'll show you guys how we finished this round as well. So this is how it's looking, guys. We're nearly done with this round as well, because we did our last cluster of 7 double crochet. We didn't do any chains for this round, so you're just going to do a slip stitch going into that first chain 2, which counts as the first double crochet in the initial cluster. You're then going to chain, grab some scissors, cut your yarn and pull through, because we are not going to be using our secondary colour anymore. This is how it is looking, and let's get on to our next round. We are now on to round number 5. We're getting back using our initial colour that is in the centre of the pattern. And then what we're going to do, we're going to go into not the first of the 7 clusters together, we're going to go into the second one of the 7 clusters, attach it in whatever way you prefer, and we're just going to do a single crochet into that space. Once you've done that, you're going to go across the rest of those double crochets in that cluster and just do a single crochet into every one of these stitches. I'm also just crocheting in this loose end as I go on, just so I don't have to worry about weaving it in quite as much later. So we've done that. We've got one last one in this cluster like that. And then what we're going to do before going into the next cluster, we're going to drop down into this space down here. So we're going to just drop straight down, and then we're going to grab the yarn and pull back through and do a single crochet again, but it's kind of like an extended one because it's pulling downwards from further. We're then going to do another 7 single crochet going into each of those double crochets in that 7 cluster. So keep doing that, guys. Nearly done. I think I've managed to weave my scissors into my yarn as well. There we are. So once you have done those 7, we're going to do the same thing again. We're going to drop down into this space here, and we're going to do a extended single crochet. And then we're going to do another 7 single crochets going into the top of those double crochets, and just completely repeat this process until we get round all the way and we have completed this round. So this is how the round is looking so far, guys. We just have a little bit more to finish up. I've just done the cluster of 7 single crochets going along the double crochets from the previous round. We're going to drop down again into this space and do one of those extended single crochets. And then we've just got that one last stitch from the initial cluster of 7 to do. So we'll do a single crochet in there. We're then going to do a slip stitch in the initial single crochet that we'd done right at the start of this round. And then what we're going to do is we're actually going to chain and cut our yarn and fasten it off, because I think that that just makes doing the next round, despite using the same colour, I think it makes doing the next round a little bit easier. We are just finishing up round number 6. You'll see we've got our final stitch that we have the extended single crochet in. So we're just going to do a half double crochet here. We're then going to do a slip stitch in that initial single crochet that we did at the start of this round. And then we're going to chain, cut our yarn and pull through. That is the end of round number 6. We have 1 left to do for this square. We're just about to start round 7, the last round of this square. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to start in one of the corners, whichever corner you'd like, attach your yarn and do a half double crochet. And then once you've done that, you're going to do a half double crochet into every stitch, just going along the sides. And then the corners are going to be 1 half double crochet, 1 chain, 1 half double crochet. So what we're doing this for is it's just adding a little bit more shape to the overall square whilst making it a tiny little bit bigger as well, which I think is perfect for the bag size that I was going for. So just keep doing this. It will look really nice and refined and clean. So a half double crochet into every single stitch. When we get into this space here, it's a half double crochet, 1 chain, half double crochet, and then just continue doing the exact same thing. And then I'll show you guys how we finish off this round. We are nearly done with this round, and I just think you guys will hopefully agree with me. I feel like this one really finishes off the overall square. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into that chain 2 space, we're going to do a half double crochet, chain 1, and then we're going to just do a slip stitch into that first half double crochet we did. We're then going to chain, we're going to grab our scissors, cut our yarn and pull through. That is the end of the process of making the squares. You're going to need a total of 15 for this design. And let's get on to the next step, which is going to be assembling our bag. So this is the main overall shape of the bag. One thing I will note now, that this side here is technically the side you want on the outside, but we're going to flip our work inside out. We're going to crochet it together when it is inside out and then flip it around the right way again. So this will be ultimately on the outside. To match it up, you're just going to get your square, you're going to flip it so it's the wrong way around, place it on top of these spaces here, like so. And then what we're going to do as well is we're just going to do the rest of the overall space. So you want this side to show, but you're going to fold it in half, and that's going to be filling these spaces here. So again, because you want this side to be the side that you see on the outside, you're going to fold it and place it so it's essentially inside out. So we've done that already. We have 2 left. So what we're going to do is they're going to go right up here at the top. So the first thing we're going to do, now that we've got this position and the shaping all right, we're going to get some stitch markers and we're just going to attach everything together, doing it by the corners and potentially even part way across. It's your choice how you want to do it, but I'll show you guys how I have done it and how it will look in a second. So this is how it is looking, guys, now that I have put all of the stitch markers in this bag. So what you're going to be doing next is you're going to be doing single crochet just along all of the edges of this bag, just to make sure that there are no holes in there. It's important to note that this top section here, you are not going to crochet closed at all. That is the opening for the bag, so we need to leave that open. So this next step is literally just going to be single crochet along all of these spaces here, just to join up the entirety of the bag. And I'm going to be choosing this same background colour as well, just so you can't really see the stitches as I do this. So this is how it should look when you have finished doing all of your single crochets, just to join all of these squares up whilst leaving the top part of the bag open still. This is how it's looking with a bit of a close-up, and honestly guys, I prefer doing single crochet way more than sewing because I'm not really a sewing kind of girl, but if you would prefer to sew instead, then you can most certainly do that. But what we're going to do next is we're actually just going to look in the middle, which this is obviously going to be the outside of the bag, and we're just going to flip it from inside out to the right way round. You can't really do that in a way that looks particularly aesthetic during the video, so bear with me. Okay, so this is how it is looking. The next thing that we are going to do after this is we're just going to do a row of single crochet in our same background colour, and then once that is done, we're going to be then working on the straps, and then the bag is complete. I've just started to do my single crochet. This is what I've done so far, and it's literally just going to be a single crochet into every single stitch as you're going across. I think it just tidies up the top of the bag and just gives it a slightly cleaner finish, which is the perfect prep before we officially start doing the strap. So on that note, keep doing this. I'll do a few check-ins, show you guys how it is looking, and then we'll get ready to do the final step, which is adding a strap to this gorgeous bag. So just giving you guys a bit of an update, I've done my single crochet going along all the way down here. I've done it on the other side, so I literally just have this section here to do. So we're nearly done, and then we can finally work on the strap. So giving you guys a little update, this is how long I have made my strap. To be honest, I want a slightly shorter strap, so I feel like this is probably a good length for me. But if you want a really long one, if you want maybe a crossbody bag, do whatever you want to do lengthwise. You could double it, triple it. This bit's kind of pretty flexible, I would say, in the overall design. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to crochet this end of the strap to this side of the bag. I've just got the bag here with the stitch markers and then the actual strap lined up. So I'm just going to go through that first stitch, the most recent one I've done, and go into that stitch that I have marked up. Before I do the stitch, I'm just going to take that stitch marker out to make it a little bit easier. So for this, I'm probably just going to do a single crochet, just because I feel like that makes it a little bit more robust and not too showy. And we're just going to do that going along every single one of our stitches. So keep doing single crochet all the way until the other side is joined. I have just done my single crochet. I've joined the entire strap up. So what I'm going to do for this last bit here is I'm just going to do a chain, grab my scissors, cut the yarn and pull through. So moving everything else out of the way, you'll see that the strap is now joined on both sides. This is how it is looking. This is the side I've crocheted to attach, and this is the side that I had crocheted from. And the only thing left with this overall design is you guys just need to weave in and snip off the loose ends of the bag, but everything else is done, so your bag is completely finished. Hopefully by this stage you have a bag looking somewhat similar to this. I hope you guys really enjoyed the tutorial and that now you have a gorgeous bag that you can take away on holiday, use for day trips when the weather's lovely, because it's so convenient and it's a really good size so you can get quite a lot in it. If you enjoyed today's tutorial and you don't want to miss out on future ones, then do subscribe if you aren't already, as well as pressing the bell to be notified when my next video is up. I do tutorials, Q&As, vlogs, loads of different things. If it's crochet related, I will probably do it. But that is it for today's video, so I will see you in my next one, and as always, thank you for watching. Bye!